Hey guys, Brandonian Productions here, and welcome to this tutorial. Now, this tutorial is going to be available on youtube.com/Brandonian Productions and thedigitalcraft.com. So if you don't know what thedigitalcraft.com is, it's pretty much a collection of videos where that you can learn about the basic functions of using a computer. Everything you really need to learn, from generating a basic web page to replacing smiles or faces in Photoshop. So most of my tutorials are on there, so be sure to check me out there. And this tutorial is actually going to be on how to use a background worker. Now, a background worker is an object that allows you to do work in the background of your program without affecting anything else. I'll give you a quick example as soon as I start up this application. So I'm just going to name it background worker. And we'll go ahead and load it up. Okay, now that we've got our form loaded, I'm going to give you a quick example of why you would want to use a background worker. Now, this is the most common example, so I'll just give it to you because it is so common. So in order to replicate this, you're going to need a label and a button. And what we're going to need the label to do is pretty much count to 1,000. So we're going to double click on the button and say for I equals 0 to 100, label 1.text equals I, label 1.refresh. So a very simple piece of code there. It pretty much just creates a variable I, sets it to 0, and makes it go to 100. And yes, and every time it changes, we're going to make it wait just a tiny bit. So once we run this application, everything seems to be going good, but then as soon as we press the button here, our application becomes responsive until it will actually complete this operation. So once this number reaches 100, our application will become responsive. Now, this can become a pain if your application is downloading files or counting in the background, because it also lags up with downloading files. And if you've been following my MySQL tutorials, you'll notice that it also lags up when it's updating the MySQL servers. Now, today I'm going to show you how to use a background worker to actually prevent this. So, the first thing we're going to need to do is actually add a background worker to our project. This can be found in all Windows forms, and then B for background worker. And then you're just going to want to add that in. And the background worker also supports progress bars, so we're going to go ahead and add a progress bar to our project so we know how far we are done. Okay. So we're going to pretty much be doing the same thing except with a background worker. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the code from the button. And there's a few things we need to set with the background worker. We need to make sure that worker reports progress is true. Otherwise, it will not work with the progress bar. And then if we double click on the background worker, it'll be automatically background worker 1 do work. This is good. This is exactly what we need. And then we just need to paste the code right in there. Except the only thing is we need to make sure that it reports its progress bar, or its progress. So what we need to say is, right under label 1.text is background worker 1.report progress, and the progress percentage is going to be I. And then we're just going to say progress bar 1.value equals background worker 1. Progress. No. Oh wait, no. Okay, so just ignore that last bit right there. So pretty much what this code is doing, it's creating a integer I and setting it equal to 0. And then it's telling the computer to make that I equal 100, but every time it goes up a number, we're changing the label to what I is. We're making the background worker report its progress as I. So if I is 50, then obviously we're at 50% done. And then it's making the computer sleep for 200 seconds, or 200 milliseconds. And then we're just refreshing the label so it displays the most prevalent I, if you will. So now what we need to do is actually change the progress bar when BackgroundWorker 1 is reporting the progress. So under the actions of BackgroundWorker 1, we need to change it to progress changed. And this is every time the BackgroundWorker reports its progress. And we're just going to say progress bar 1.value equals BackgroundWorker E dot progress percentage. Now, we haven't used E in any of our tutorials, pretty much, but what it is as you can see here where it says progress changed, there's byval E as progress changed event args. Now, this is pretty much just the default variable with dealing with any properties of this BackgroundWorker 1 pertaining to its progress being changed. So we're just saying that it's progress percentage. No big deal there. And then what we want to do is also select the run worker completed, which means it's done completing the task. We're going to display a message box saying, actually we're going to make label 1.text equal to success. So once it counts to 100, progress bar gets full. Once the BackgroundWorker is done, we're going to display the text box, or the text. We're going to change the text of the label to success. Now I'm just going to double check our properties of the BackgroundWorker. Make sure that all of this is set. You could even support cancellation if you'd like. In fact, that's good. So you can cancel the BackgroundWorker if anything goes wrong. And now when we double click on the button, we just need to say BackgroundWorker1.run worker async, which is short for run worker synchronously, I think it's pronounced. It pretty much just means run it at the same time that the program is operating. So now if we start debugging, if you remember when we first did this, it froze up our program, but if we press button 1 now, oh wait, an error. Okay, oh yes, good thing this popped up, because this brings me to another thing. If you're going to use a BackgroundWorker, this error will appear if you're trying to edit any controls in the form. Cross-thread operation not valid. Control label when accessed from thread other than thread it was created on. Now, in order to get by this, you're going to need to use what's called delegates, but that's a whole nother tutorial. So right now what we're going to do is simply make it so our form ignores this error. So we're going to do this by when the form loads, we're going to set its property to me.cross or me.check for illegal cross-thread calls equal to false. So it will not check for that error at all. And then it's going to give you a little error. You could simply replace me with control. And now we can debug again, and we should not get that error. So let's press button 1. And as you notice, we're allowed to move the form as the label changes, and the progress bar is actually going as the numbers go. So everything is working great. We're able to maximize the form, minimize the form, and move it all while it's going. And once the progress bar gets full and the numbers get full, then we should get a message box. Oh, I mean, it should change to success, which it did. Very nice. We could probably press button 1 again, and it would reset itself. Yes, beautiful. So this will really help you if you are trying to download a file in the background, because as you can see, we can move the form and it doesn't interrupt any any on-form controls or anything. So it's working in the background and it's moving the progress bar, but it's not affecting the actual form itself. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I definitely think it will help you in your programming experience. So thanks for watching, and remember to have a great day.